Hi there YouTube, this is Stefan here to bring you a daily inspiration, a story, and be inspired and motivate you. You can share this video with your friends, your family. In fact, you can share these stories that I share with you in your classes, in your seminars, and with people you know. Maybe you can help them, get through a really tough day, or just inspire them for greater action. Today I want to talk about Sylvester Stallone, Sly Stallone, and Sylvester Stallone, as we all know him, is a great actor. He is very successful, and he's made famous by his movie Rocky. In fact, there are six different movies now, Rocky 1 to 6, and he's a real inspiration to a lot of people. But a lot of people might not have heard of his story as well, from how he got from really broke and hungry to become as successful as he is today. I actually heard his story quite some time back, but I didn't know actually which parts were really the real parts, and something really happened to his life. So I actually did some research just today, and I found Tony Robbins. He actually has a great video talking about Sylvester Stallone's life. So here's a story that I'm going to start sharing, and you can share too. So a very long time ago, Sylvester Stallone, he was once actually in the pits. He was, he didn't really work out because life didn't really work out for him, because he was actually taken out by a forceps. And what a forceps is, it's like a thong taken out. I mean, when he was born, he was taken out with a forceps. What a forceps is, it is a thong that pulls the baby out. Sometimes using his head. So when he got out, he looked kind of funny, and he couldn't talk properly, so he kind of talked like this. And things were tough for him. He couldn't get a job because people think he was stupid, he looked stupid, and he couldn't speak properly. So life was tough for him, and in fact he was very poor at one point in time. And but from a very young age, Sylvester Stallone knew what he wanted to do, and he wanted to be in movies. He wanted to be in the business of movies. And so all his life he has been trying to get jobs in movies, and in fact he said that he went to 150 agents to get acting jobs. And he was always very thick-skinned. He go for all the interviews until people didn't want to see him anymore, because again he looked funny and he spoke funnily. But he finally got one of the jobs, and one of the jobs was actually to get beaten up, because people say, like, since you have so thick skin, you can come, people, you look really great in a movie, you can get beaten up or something along those lines. And he actually got a few dollars from that movie. He got a 20-second show, and he started doing all these small gigs, small acting gigs, but it didn't work out because the money was too little. And so he decided to change his approach. Yes, so he changed it. Like a lot of successful people, they realize something's not working, they change their approach. At that time, he was really poor. He was hungry. It was cold. He didn't have money for a heater in his house. His wife, and the relationship with his wife was strained. Every day, the wife would scream at him and ask him to get a job. And then Tony Robbins, which is a good friend of Sylvester, actually asked him, why didn't you get a job? And his explanation was really inspiring, because he says, if I get a job, I know that I'll get into the rhythm of a job. I'll get comfortable, and slowly my dream will disappear. So I knew that that was an advantage. That hunger to become successful in the movie industry was an advantage. So he said he didn't want to get a job, and it was really terrible. He didn't have a lot of money. And in a long story short, he actually, he was so broke that one day he went to hawk his wife's jewelry, and he says, there's some things that you shouldn't do. In fact, that was the breaking point in his relationship with his wife. They fell apart, and they left him, and he really struggled at that time. He was cold, hungry, and he had little money in his pockets. Anyway, he had little money, and he was so hungry at one point in time. He didn't have a lot of things, so he sold everything he had. But one of the things that he really had was a dog, and he was a very good friend of his, and he loved this dog. And but he was, at one point he was so hungry, he decided to sell his dog for some money. So he actually stood along the streets and tried to sell his dog for $50. And you know, to strangers he spoke, and then he tried to sell his dog, and finally someone wanted to buy his dog, but this person bargained the price down to $25. And he took $25 and put in his, it was, at that time, it was a lot of money to get him some food and stuff like that. And eventually a few other things happened, but one of the turning points was when he sat down and he watched a TV show. I think it was Muhammad Ali in a fight with another boxer. But this other boxer, the little less known boxer, he gets up every time he gets beaten down by Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali is like one of the world's greatest boxers. Every time he hits this man down, this man stands up again. He had a really great never give up attitude. Like, even though he was really badly beaten up, he still stood up. Every time he fell down, he would stand up again. And something changed in Sylvester, and he had this great idea, and he was going to become a writer for movie. He wrote in the past, but nothing really came out of it. But after that short moment watching that fight, how the little less known boxer stood up again and again, against this giant of boxing. He had this inspiration, and he sat down and he wrote for 20 hours. For 20 hours non-stop, he wrote his very first script, his very first movie. And after that, he was actually shaking. He was so excited and so motivated and passionate about what this movie was going to do for him. So he went to actually many places to try to sell this, his script. Many people rejected him and says, this is too predictable. This story is sappy. Nobody will watch this movie. And the great thing is, that movie was Rocky. Yes, the movie Rocky. If you have not watched it, please go and watch it. It's a really amazing movie. That script, right? The thing is, he wrote down all these rejections and all the things that people told him that it could not be done, and he actually read it out during the Oscars when he won. I think he won Best Actor or something like that. So it's a really great inspiration, right? And Tony Robbins says the greatest revenge you can get is to have great success. Yes. And the story goes, he goes to this company, and finally someone read it and they loved his story. They believed in his story, and they offered him $125,000. And at the point in time, $125,000 was a lot of money to Sylvester. Yes, because he had no money at all. Yes, so finally someone offered this amount of money, and he said, "Oh, I will sell you this, but it must, there's a slight condition, and the condition is I must be in that movie." And the people look at him. The people want to buy the script look at him and say, "Are you serious?" Right? Because he still looked funny and he still spoke funnily, and they said, no, we'll get our own actors, and they actually wanted to hire a famous actor at the time to do it. And Sylvester, at the time, he was a nobody. He said, no, I only sell it to you if you want to, if you want to hire me as the main lead, because this is my story. This is the story of my life. That I really, this like the fighter in me. This story really resounds with me. I need to be the lead actor in this movie. And they were like, no, they will not take it. They said, take it or leave it. So, this Sylvester, he was so sure, he was so certain of what he wanted. And even though he had no money at that time, he had no or little money at that time, he actually walked out on the $125,000 opportunity. Yes, $125,000 opportunity, and he actually walked out, and the people, they were actually quite shocked when he walked out. But after that, they came out with a better deal of something like double the price, and they wanted to buy it from him, but they cannot act, and he wouldn't take it, right? And finally, they settled on a really minimal fee, like $36,000 or something like that. I'm not quite sure the numbers are, but it was, dramatically reduced from the $125,000, but he got the leading role. So the story of Sylvester Stallone is really amazing because Tony Robbins actually asked him, what was the first thing that you did after you got that money? Do you go out and party? Do you enjoy yourself? And Sylvester actually said, no. The first thing I did was, for 3 days straight, I went back to the same street that I tried to sell my dog. And my best friend, I sold my best friend for $25 away. For 3 days straight, I went there hoping that I'll meet the person who I sold my dog to, and hoping to buy my dog back. And after 3 days, he actually met that person again. And there, beside the guy, was his dog. And he says, do you remember me? And I sold my dog to you, but I'm really sorry. I was really desperate at that point in time. I will buy it from you for $100, and I sold it to you for $25. I'll buy it for you back in $100? And the guy actually said, no way. I'm going to keep the dog because it's mine now, and you can't buy it. It's not for sale. And he says, Sylvester, he changed his approach again. He knew what he wanted, so he changed his approach. He said, how about $500? The guy was still very stubborn. He said, no, I want to keep this dog. I love this dog, and I want to keep him. It's not for sale. And he changed his approach again. $1,000. He says, $1,000. I'll buy this dog back for $1,000. And he says, no, this is my best friend. I'm gonna keep it as my dog. And again and again, he changed his approach, and he finally got his dog back. And I think the amount that he bought it back was $15,000. He bought his best friend back, which he sold when he was really desperate. He bought it back for $15,000 plus a position, an acting role in Rocky the movie. So so actually the person that he sold the dog to was in the movie Rocky. So again, the rest is history. He became really famous, and he wrote many other screenplays and movies, and but all of us start from somewhere. Yes, all of us start from somewhere. You might be struggling right now. You might be in a place that you could be a better place. You might be at a point which that if you carry on down this line, that you will lose your dream. Or it might be one point in time when you realize that the money that you're making is not enough and you need to make more, or you're not happy, right? But every successful person, they were once somewhere. They once started somewhere. And this is a really great inspirational story because Sylvester Stallone, Rocky, he didn't give up. He knew what he wanted, and he just kept going at it, and he changed his approach. Even though he was hungry, even though he was cold, he just kept focusing on what he wanted and keep working towards it. Now, it's easy to say, but if you really think about the circumstances he was in, I think he was in a worse circumstances than a lot of us. So let's not give ourselves any excuses, but let's work on our success, work on getting better at the thing that we want to get better at, work on what you want to succeed in. Many famous people, they have always pointed out their determination as the key factor to their success, their repetition in the work that they do, the amount of effort, and the not giving up, right? And if you heard of J.K. Rowling, she was once a single parent who was on social security, who wrote this little book, and she was so poor at one point in time that we wouldn't know, because now she's a billionaire and she's invited into universities to speak about success. But once upon a time, J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter, was actually in a rut and was struggling too. And she wrote this little book, and she even got rejected by I think it was 11 publishers. 11 publishers said no to Harry Potter. Can you believe it? Right? I think these 11 publishers must be crying. Like, the people who rejected her must be crying every day now, because it's billions of dollars. Yes. So I just want to share this, and I think I'm sharing a little bit longer than any other video I've shared before, but I just really wanted to just share with you a story to maybe inspire you today. And if you like to work with me, I teach people how to make money on the internet. In fact, not only me, I have a community of people who teach people how to do it. We have excellent training of how you can get started to make your first dollar. And all you have to do is, if you're interested, all you have to do is to click on this link at the bottom of this YouTube video. Just click on it and watch a 30-minute, put in your email and watch a 30-minute video and just watch it and get all in. Okay, just watch it, get all in, and we'll help you make your first dollar online, because the hardest dollar is the first dollar. After you get the first dollar, we can just replicate the entire process and make you more and more and more, and double and triple and quadruple your money every single month. Okay, again, this is all education. You need to get in and you need to learn and you need to put effort inside. You need to do what we say. Okay, so I'm really excited. Thank you for watching this video. If you if you come on board, great. If you don't, subscribe to my videos. One day you might hear another story by me that you get inspired, motivated, and or a story that can share and can change someone else's life. I'm really big proponent of stories and how it affects people's life. Maybe this story will not affect you directly, but maybe this story is meant to be told to someone else. So do subscribe to my channel. Come back here as often as you can, because I'm gonna post one video, one sharing, one story a day. Thank you. This is Stefan. Good, depending on where you are in the world. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Bye.